Please welcome to the stage our next presenter, Ta-Shea Brown.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming. All right, let's jump in. In July 2025, while visiting Barbados, I self-funded launched a travel summer program for children 8 to 12. Over the course of 5 days, we drove around exploring the island's hidden gem and then painted from observation the historical and prominent landmarks. With the help of cultural experts sharing their unique insights, children left with a deeper connection of the island. And that connection is why I started this camp. I wanted to ignite the love of art through the textures, the colors, and landscapes woven into the culture of Barbados. While I saw this as a single experience, the students did not. They insisted that I return. And they insisted that I return, and in no uncertain terms, I was told to recruit more students. I was told to rent a bigger vehicle and to hire them as teaching assistants. This made me realize it wasn't just about learning art, it was about bridging the gap between creativity and real world opportunity, And the response didn't stop with students. Parents spoke about the confidence it gave their child, and the story was also later featured in the Nation newspaper, showing a wider interest of this experience. So I began to ask, how might design create touch points that help children ages 8 to 12 move from making art to real world exposure in Barbados? To gain a deeper understanding, this question became the foundation of my thesis. Let me introduce that. It's called Creativity to Enterprise. To gain an understanding of how design could create those touch points, I interviewed a wide range of experts, including museum leaders, educators, artists, and therapists working across creativity and youth development. These conversations pointed to 4 distinct points along a child's creative journey from learning the real-world application. I identify those stages through the kinds of questions the children were already asking. How do I start? How do I get better? How do people see my work? And where can I go from there? So let's say, how do I start? Integrating arts education with culture-centered pedagogy will help children express themselves creatively and think critically, said Dr. Clovis Nelson, and I couldn't help but take that literally. I thought to myself, what objects in the Bajan culture actually carries meaning? Sugarcane is integral to the Caribbean. It's a part of who we are as a people, said Ray Skinner. So then that led me to ask, what are some tools that could reconnect children to this history, instill in pride and belonging? Introducing Sweet Roots. Sweet Roots is a multifunctional art-making tool shaped like a sugarcane stalk, where each note contains a different drawing tip, a marker, a pen, a pencil, and a brush. Once a child starts making, the next question becomes, how do I get better? Let's begin. Our tools often designed for function, but Sweet Roots is actually designed for function and culture. As a child creates, they're also remembering and gaining confidence of a story that they could shape and move forward. Once a child starts making art, the next question becomes, how do I get better? They don't always feel confident, kind of like what it seems like right now for me, but I promise you that I am. In January 2026, I returned to Barbados, but this time, instead of working with children, I ran a co-creation workshop at the Caribbean Brushstrokes with primary school art teachers and visual artists. I invited them to reflect, share, and co-design what the landscape of creative development looks like in Barbados. As a part of this exercise, I asked them to trace their creative journeys back to childhood and identify the moments that shaped them. What stood out the most was that many participants could point to a single moment. One participant said, "Participation in a mentorship program influenced my art," and another said, "It actually they wish they had gotten the support instead they had to encourage themselves." That led me to Loop. Loop is a platform that makes recognition and feedback a consistent part of a child's creative journey. Let's go through Nyla's journey. She will first be prompted to find her school. After she finds her school, Nyla then will be able to see on her school's profile artworks from her classmates, and eventually she would actually want that too. So the next thing that happens, she uploads that work and asks for feedback and asks how she would want feedback. The next thing that takes place, the app then finds the artist, and then she's paired with a mentor. Okay. Now lastly, how do people see my work? How might we turn showcasing into an art experience where children understand the value of their creativity, known where they can share it, and be supported by the community? I created the Bajan lemonade stand. In the Caribbean, art isn't always seen as a worthwhile stigma. It runs deep. And to explore that, I designed a lemonade stand that allows the audience to not only purchase the lemonade, but also participate. This experience begins with a fruit card, where visitors use stickers to describe how they like their fruit. Then, using an oversized drawing tool, participants have 1 minute to jump in and add their mark. Overall, the Bajan art lemonade stand was designed to awaken a child's confidence, creativity, and entrepreneurial spirit through cultural play. The marketplace is already a familiar place. Is already familiar in Barbados. It happens every week. The stand is just one typology. The beauty of the concept is that it's transferable and it can evolve around whatever a child is passionate about. And when a child has the tools, the recognition, and the taste of real-world exchange, they're ready for something bigger. As Andrea Depster-Chung notes, students develop a talent but aren't prepared for the real-world application. Caribbean Future Lab is designed to change that. By embedding a creative agency approach directly into the learning experience, students work on real projects, learning just how to make and how to think, present, and apply their ideas. Given the vibrant event and small business culture of Barbados, the program launches with 3 offerings: a logo design, a flyer, and murals. From there on, students move through 4 key phases of that creative process. It goes from when a client asks for a request, a student learns that creativity, they learn that every creative project begins with understanding someone's need. A project brief teaches them how to translate a client's vision into a creative direction. And concepts teaches them how to explain their thinking. And then lastly, delivery shows them how to move from one stage to another. Real briefs, real clients, real outcomes. TJ and Anna, Kaden, and Nyla didn't know they were giving me a thesis. They just knew what they wanted: more students, a bigger van, and jobs. But in asking for those 3 things, they handed me a framework: Sweet Root, Loop, the Bajan Lemonade Art Stand, the Caribbean Futures Lab. 4 touch points, 1 journey, designed to meet children exactly where they are. And as Kevin Greenridge reminds us, the creative sector cannot be an afterthought in national development. It must be seen and treated as a core engine of growth. That engine doesn't start in a boardroom. It doesn't start at university. It starts now with them. Thank you.
Thank you, Ta-Shea.
Thank you, Sinclair.
All I can think about is wanting to go to the Bahamas and study art.
Barbados.
The Barbados, excuse me. My dyslexia and Bayesian get mixed up. Your work, we run such a gamut here of work, from speculative to experimental to the real. This is real. I love that you were down there working with those kids, and there's, that is straight user experience, and I love that they said, this is what we want, give it to us.
For sure.
And you did.
For sure.
So just tell me, when you're going back, and what are you going to do?
Tomorrow. That's a joke. But yes, I do intend to return.
Booking my ticket.
I intend to return as soon as possible and definitely keep going with the project. How this spills out, I'm not sure. Which one is the favorite project? I'll start there.
Which is yours?
That's a good question. I'd say probably the app. I find that pretty necessary.
And
Yeah.
have the kids seen it? I mean, it fits in a smaller van.
It does. They have not seen it yet, but they are watching, so.
All right.
Yes.
We're coming with a big van.
We are coming with a big van.
All right. Summer program, maybe we all go.
I'll have a bigger van.
I think we're psyched to get out of the dark theater. It's very tempting. All right, it's beautiful work. Thank you so much, Ta-Shea.
Thank you.